Second thing, if you didn't think that this show was live, we got confirmation tonight that this show is all the way LIVE live.
Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We are your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our take and our feedback on each contestant's voice and overall performance. On the Pitchy Podcast, we will always do our best to speak our truths with love, kindness, and respect. But what we're never here to do is come for any contestants as a person or anyone, any contestant as a human being. Although we may come off a little pitchy at times, because that's what we do. You know how we roll. If you've never been to us before, thank you for subscribing. Well, we want you to subscribe.
Speak it into
click
existence.
The subscribe button. I'm speaking things that are not as if they are. And we are on Patreon. Just for $5 a month, you'll get bonus content from each show, and you'll get to see each episode early.
Yes.
So tonight is season 28's finale.
Yes.
Performance show. Part 1 of the finale.
Yes.
And then tomorrow we get the big grand finale where people sing with the artist and then special guests come in and the whole kit and caboodle, and they announce the winner.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight was the performance show.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of songs to get through because each contestant, which we had 5, had 2 songs, a ballad and an up-tempo. So let's jump right in with our first contestant. So he has been a perennial closer this season, but they actually took him and put him on the top.
Yes.
And that would be John Legend's RENZO.
Yes.
And, I said, if RENZO sings, I want to hear some black rocker music. I want to hear Living Color. I want to hear Lenny Kravitz. And what do we get? We got Fly Away.
Yes.
By Lenny Kravitz. And I said, Renzo's going to rip this one because it's like right in his wheelhouse. It's a perfect song for his voice, perfect amount of holler, perfect amount of sing. And I said, it's a perfect song to win the competition with. I said, it was a nice opening with acoustic. Now, Stephanie, you got to tell me, were my ears deceiving me or did he miss a few strums on the guitar?
No, here's what was happening. He was not strumming as you would predict him to strum. He was almost strumming, and I'm not a musician enough to tell you, but I caught on later. It wasn't the bass line, but it wasn't the melody. It was something in between.
Okay.
So it sounded unusual, and it made me really listen to what he was doing. He just wasn't doing what you would typically expect for an acoustic guitarist to do, but what he was doing was at least in line and consistent all the way through that acoustic opening part.
Okay. Well, that helps me out because I figure if it's just you and your acoustic guitar, you're going to play the typical line. Mm-hmm. That's why it sounded a little off to me because I was like, well, what are you playing? But if that's what it is, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just RENZO being the innovative person that he is, which I have to appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that RENZO, I was like, what is it about RENZO's voice that I do like? I love the way RENZO ends his phrases. Especially on this song. Did you hear it was like flipping his voice?
Yeah.
He's like, I want to get away. Like, He put that kind of yodel in his voice a little bit today. Mm-hmm. And I love that he did that. I want to fly away. Like, I love that what he did with this song.
Yeah.
what I did not like about this song had nothing to do with them. I thought it was a very strange arrangement. I thought it was build big, pull it back. Build big, pull it back. And I didn't like that about this song. And maybe it was also the whole cage thing was a little distracting for me too, like the set.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of a weird arrangement for me. It was very back and forth. I said, but Renzo's energy stayed constant the entire way. Like he built the correct way. I just don't feel like the arrangement of the song was building the correct way. I just thought he was more constant, which was good. This was a really good start, but for me, it was a weird arrangement of the song.
I think no, not I think. I differ in that opinion only because I, for an artist as talented as Renzo, I don't want to hear a karaoke rendition of this song. So there's one of two things that you can do. You can try to do something vocally that is way outside of how the song is sung and thus takes us out of the song a bit when you're not just kind of singing it as the original artist sang it. Or number two, you can play with the arrangement. You can sing the song kind of as is, but you can play with the textures of the song in that arrangement. So with him starting acoustically, I was like, ooh, interesting. We're going to get to the big part because you have to, especially if this is your up-tempo number. So this is interesting that he's starting like this. And I too was kind of thrown off with what he was playing, but as I just explained, I got to understand. So when I go back and listen to this, it'll be cool for me to hear it again, already anticipating what that part is going to sound like and not be a little distracted about what is he playing. So then you get into the big stuffs, and it was just everything, like band wise, the bass was all in, the drums was all in, the guitar was all in. I actually liked the breakdown because it didn't stay broken down, it built back up. So it felt like a full story of a performance to me. But as you said, the vocal never wavered in intensity.
Correct.
And kudos to Renzo because he sang this song down. And it's very easy to get very screamy or very hollery in this song. And he sang it down. And I want y'all to understand how hard it is for anybody to sing this song perfectly on pitch. Give us a little screamology. It was PhD rock showmanship, vocally and performance wise, in my opinion. I don't think he could have sang. He could not have sang this song any better. And it's so difficult to do that in a live situation. And having it in my good ears, I was like, oh my God, this is so good because he's giving you everything that you want to hear from this song. And it's live. Like it sounded vocally just as good as the original, which is a stunningly hard thing to do. So I wrote after that performance, I was like, he won. Because not only did he give us an up-tempo that we know, and he executed, I was like, now, I'm with you with the cage. I saw the cage and I was like, but here's the thing. The thing that I was glad about the cage is that women, I did not see, and maybe they were there. I saw women inside of the cage. I did not see women climbing the cage. The only people that I saw climbing the cage were the dudes. And I was like, okay, we giving ninja, we giving, hard, whatever we're giving.
Like
So
grunge pit? I don't know what it
yeah,
was.
so I was happy that after I saw the cage, what I anticipated from the cage was kind of toned down as the performance went on.
Yeah, the
So
opening cage scene was a little wild, but then they just were there
they
like
toned it down. So it was,
yeah.
it was like they were like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on a cage kind of thing, and then they toned it down. So I was like, okay, this is fine. But
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was an incredible show opener. And I've been wanting to hear this song for years on this show. And Renzo was the one to do it, and he executed it incredibly.
I thought it was a very, very excellent execution. I'm so, because I know what Renzo is capable of vocally, I'm so like specific with him. Like, I'll take it a step further. I was like, okay, to me, this was safe. Fly Away was safe for
No,
him, for
no,
Lenny Kravitz.
no.
I needed an Are You Gonna Go My Way from him.
Oh,
Like,
I hear what you're saying. Okay.
because like I wanted like more holler because
Okay, but
like,
but let me ask an honest question. Do you really want to just hear holler, or do you want to hear vocal? I want to hear vocal on this show. This is not a scream show. I want to hear vocal.
Because he's singing 2 songs and that was his up tempo. I wanted more holler on the up tempo, and then we'll talk about his ballad a little bit later, because I know what Renzo can do vocally. I knew he was going to give us his singy song on his ballad. And that's just me being so selfish. That's just me being selfish. I wanted to Are You Gonna Go My Way? I thought this was easy for him. Like, I thought this was like so good. It's like it was so in his wheelhouse. Because this is one of Kravitz's hardest songs to do well and to not sound like an imitation, because this is often imitated.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But no one can do Are You Gonna Go My Way? That's except for someone like Renzo. That's why I wanted that.
I hear what you're saying.
Me being selfish.
I hear what you're saying. I get it. I understand. Yeah. I understand.
All right. Okay, next, Lucia Flores-Wiseman.
Yes.
I missed the song. Help me out.
It's called Wish You Were Here. It's a Pink Floyd song.
How I wish you were here. We're just 2 lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year.
This is what I said about Lucia. I said, now flow with me for a second, Stephanie. I said she has the originality and almost the enunciation, the way she enunciate of an Anita Baker. It's not the same voice by any means. But when Anita first came on the scene, if y'all aren't familiar with Anita Baker, she's a R&B quiet storm soul singer of the 80s and 90s. Probably one of the biggest of all time.
Yes.
One of the best voices of all time. Some people were criticizing Anita, and they were like, I can't understand what she's saying. Right? And then others of us were like, are you crazy?
Yeah,
it's one of the greatest voices of all time.
Right.
And that's how I categorize Lucia. Like, Lucia has like a diction all her own.
Can I give an example for those that don't know Anita? a very poor 10:30 at night. Just to give y'all, because a lot of our listeners might not.
Because she's a contralto, so Stephanie's going to give you an example. Anytime she's going to give you some alto, Stephanie's going to give it to you.
A little. So, here's Anita. Where are my heart? I love you, baby. Stay with me. And you, like, it's just like, it's her words are a melody. Like, it's one long run on sentence. It's an instrument. It sounds like,
even though voices are instruments, it is an instrument you pick up and play.
Right. Right. You better get your lyric sheet, because you probably are not going to understand which words
funny.
she's actually
As
saying.
As an adult, I go back and listen to Anita because I have her on rotation right now, and I can understand.
Oh,
every
you do?
Word she said. Oh, yeah. I'm in an Anita kind of. I'm in Anita kind of mood these days.
Okay.
I understand every word she's saying now. As an adult, when I was a kid, I was like, "What is she saying?"
And that just
my dad was obsessed with her, and so that's why I know like all of her music cold. Like I know her entire songbook. But now coming back, I have such an appreciation. And okay, all that to say, Lucia, I said it's a brilliant thing. I knew Stephanie would understand this reference because she's a fan of Anita too, and she knows what I'm talking about. With it's almost a lazy. Some people might call it a lazy diction, but it's not.
Yes. Yes.
It's a specific stylized type of singing of a yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Yes.
I'm not sure that I'm really feeling this song for her, but she sounds good on it.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds good on anything.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have picked this song for Lucia,
Mm-mm.
but it's Lucia. What are you
Mm-hmm.
going to do? That's
Yeah.
all I got to say. I
Yeah.
didn't know the song, didn't think it showcased her voice that much, but she sounds like a dream singing anything.
Anything.
That is the makings of a bona fide star.
It is. It absolutely is. And I agree with everything you said. I didn't know the song either. The only thing that they said at the beginning, at some point, Carson said that she was going to sing a Pink Floyd song. So that kind of narrowed down the field for me as I was searching for what the song was. You're absolutely right. She can't sound bad. Her sound is entirely hers. You either love it, you hate it, or you at the very least just appreciate the art of it. And that was in full display today. I felt the emotion of the song. There was some sadness to the song. I wish you were here. Like, so I know that she was channeling the family members that she has lost. I could feel that emotion. Yeah, this whole night for me was a conundrum for Lucia because this night did not set her up to be featured in any way.
Mm-mm.
You either really love her and that's why you vote for her, but there with this selection or the other really never gave her what I felt like was a moment. And I feel like for her, since her sound is her sound, you need a special song to bring out that sound to make her whole performance really pop. And I just didn't feel like that happened with this selection or really with the other. There was some differentiation in the other that we'll talk about when we talk about it later. But, I just
Why
love
couldn't y'all
Lucia.
give her like a rehab for an up tempo? If y'all had given her like a rehab, it'd have been over. Like it'd have been over.
So there were a lot of misses tonight as far as song choices. I would say that's something that we can talk about more in Patreon. And if you're not joining us, join us for $5 and you can hear that conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Jadyn Cree. Missed the song. Help me out.
That was Lose You to Love Me by Selena Gomez.
To love, love, to love, love, to love. I needed to lose you to love me.
Oh, Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
It's interesting because by that time my daughter walked in the house, and I asked her, I was like, "Come here, what's the song?" And then she started singing it. She couldn't think of the title because I know I've heard the song because she's
Yes.
played it. It's a
To
now
love,
song.
to love, love. Yeah.
I felt tonight Jadyn was a little off tonight vocally. I felt the pitch was off. I loved this song, but I thought it was a little exposing for her. Watch the breath. I felt she needed to watch the breath at the end of her phrases because I felt like her pitch was falling off there a little bit. It's harder to sing soft and intense because you need more breath support. The one thing that I can really compliment her on, I felt like this was the most emotion and feeling that she brought into a performance.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her interpretation of the song. I just felt like it was a bit of a struggle vocally for me tonight for this one. Stephanie?
I don't like this song for her. I don't like this song for anybody except for Selena Gomez. I don't like this song in a singing competition Selena Gomez is the only word I could think to put for her was indifferent. I don't feel like Selena Gomez songs are very passionate. I don't feel like they're lazy. I don't feel like they're emotional. I just kind of feel like they're there. And she kind of sings like that. So the ends of Selena Gomez's phrases are kind of, it's just like a breath at the end of
Mhm.
phrases. So I actually was listening pretty closely with my good ears. I can completely understand why you might have thought there were pitch issues. It wasn't bad in my ears at all. I think it could have been a little bit tighter, but I think that you fight a losing battle with a song like this that wants to be breathy and kind of floaty at the end. And Jadyn was actually trying to give some structure to the ends of the songs, which I appreciated. And she actually tried to give a little bit more emotion, which you were speaking to the song than what I feel the original recording actually does. I felt like she brought a youthfulness, a and her voice is just kind of bright and beautiful no matter what. I did feel like there was that whisper quality to it that I felt like was a little strong for this song. But again, understanding who the original artist of the song is and how she sings it, I can understand why she brought that to this song. But I can appreciate the delivery. I can appreciate the vulnerability because, again, we have not seen that side of Jadyn. Um, I didn't love the song choice, but I really liked and appreciated and respected her execution.
Okay. Fair. 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 I always get these two mixed up because their names are so similar.
Yes.
Jadyn and Jaelen.
Yes.
Okay, so we have Jaelen Johnston.
Yes.
This was a Darius Rucker song, wasn't it?
Dierks Bentley.
Oh, I guess I saw that wrong. It flashed across the screen.
It was so quick. I had to
What
rewind.
was I thinking was a song? I know.
Yeah, I
I
had
got
to
the title
rewind
right.
twice to see
It looked
what
like
it
it
was.
said Darius Rucker. I was like, okay.
Close.
Close.
I was thinking about a long kiss, man, just gotta get going. Now my leave. Oh, I know what I was feeling. Well, know what I was feeling.
I said, now I'm going to talk to you all about something because this is something that Stephanie and I know about, something that we can speak to intimately. My first comment is nice save, Jaelen.
Nice
Okay?
save. Nice save.
Stephanie and I will tell you, it happens to the best. No one is exempt.
No
one is safe.
Nope.
From the slip of the brain, from the slip of the tongue, from the slip of the anything when you are up there performing.
Mm-hmm.
No one, even the most seasoned performers, have a brain fart, whatever you want to call it. It happens to the best of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in the recovery.
Absolutely.
The power is in the recovery. So those of you who are singers or aspiring singers or have stage fright, understand all of us go through this. All of us have mental slips. All of us not only have mental slips, but have mental slips that are noticeable.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
As his was.
Yeah.
But the thing is what did he do on the back half of the song? It was almost like he found room in the song. You didn't physically see it, but it was almost like he found room in the song to take a deep breath, to reset, and to finish the song strong.
Yes.
Even to the point where he was kind of like interacting with the band.
Yeah.
And when stuff like that happens, you all have to realize the audience forgets about what happened at the top.
That's right.
They forget about what happens at the top.
That's right.
I said, that's how you do it. That was great. I said, people like Stephanie and I have to be nothing but supportive for somebody like Jaelen because we know how hard this is, and we know that there's always a next time.
1000%.
And we'll talk about the next time. Stephanie?
1000%. Everything you said, yes and amen. So when this song starts, because again, this is a song that I did not know. As the song starts, I'm like, oh my gosh, all these words, like there, and it was his up-tempo song as well. So I'm like, okay. And at that point, I was just thinking about breath support more than I was thinking about how many words there were. I'm like, where is he gonna find a space to breathe? And then as I'm writing down notes, he forgot his words, and I was just, and I'll tell y'all more in the Patreon, how I reacted to this performance. But the fact that he was able to say, let me stop myself, as you said, let me take a breath, let me recalibrate, and let me finish strong. As you said, James, there's nothing we can do but applause and respect that, because it takes so much inside to be able to not feel defeated in the moment, to gather yourself, to rely on your practice and your rehearsal, and to make it through, and to push through, and not only push through, but end strong. You can't do anything but respect that. And number one, it's a human moment. So any of us that are human and have found ourselves maybe not in that situation, but another situation where it was like, uh-oh, what do I do? Can't do anything but respect how he handled it. Second thing, if you didn't think that this show was live, we got confirmation tonight that this show is all the way LIVE live. So, well done, Jaelen. Well done.
Well done. I forgot about it. I quickly forgot about it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Do it, boy. Do it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And then to close out the first round,
Yeah.
we had Adam David.
Yes. Yes.
Boy, get off this show.
Yes.
Get off, Adam. Seriously.
Yes.
Get off. You, imposter. Boy, you know you ain't on this show. You know you've been singing for 40 years. You have this huge career, and then you made a stop on your farewell tour. He sang the incredible "You Are So Beautiful" by Joe Cocker.
Everything I need, you are so beautiful to me.
Mm-hmm.
This song is like, everybody knows this song. Like, everyone knows the melody of this song. Like, it's a commercial melody.
Yes.
But to sing this song the way it needs to be sung is a whole nother conversation.
Oh.
I said, Joe Cocker, if you're not familiar, if you're familiar with the old show, The Wonder Years, he sang the lead song. Have a little help from our friends.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Oh, that's Joe Cocker, okay?
Mm-hmm.
About as much grit, soul, all on the chords as you can get.
I said, absolutely.
I said, this is how you sing live. You can tell, like, I love how they were like hyping Adam David up. They said, y'all, Buble was like, he's gigging. He's a working musician. This is what he does every day, you all. And you can tell.
Right.
Because it's like drinking water to him.
Right.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
I said flat-footed singing.
Flat-footed singing.
It was just him. He didn't have his guitar. Just flat-footed singing.
Yes.
I said, I love how he brings this song to be truly effective. He brings a vocal damage, but it's not vocal damage sound to this song. That's just incredible. I said, this man's voice is limitless. I said, and then he had the nerve to just float it on out. I said,
Yes, he
float
did.
it out. He just floated it around. Like
Yes, he did.
he just floated it out.
Yes, he did.
I said, vocally, no one is in control of their voice like Adam David is.
Full
I said,
control.
he is in control of everything he produces out of his throat.
That's right.
I said, he is a singer.
Yes, he is.
You hear what Bublé said?
Oh, yes.
He's like one of my favorite singers, one of my favorite musicians. He said, "Did you see what happened in the last round when in the first live round and when he started shredding
Yes.
and like Levine was like, like, you know, respect. We got respect, right?
Yes.
And it's just he's just like, dude, it's like he's on his farewell tour. This is ridiculous, Stephanie.
So this is the song that I chose to sit down and do my watch with me for Patreon. So for $5, you can come, amongst other things, watch Adam David do the selection, and most entertainedly, or however you want to say it, you can watch me discover that this is the song that he was doing. I was very happy that this was the song. I wrote down no notes because there are no notes. There was just a comment for you, James. There was a selection last week where you commented that the artist failed to sing the same lyric in a different way. Like there was one lyric that was sang over and over again, but you wanted that artist to sing that lyric in a different way. I was struck by that tonight because Adam David totally did that. Like, he said, "You are so beautiful" 1,000 times in this song. And every time he sang it in a different way. In a way that was impactful. Like, that didn't just like, it felt like it meant something, the way he was delivering it. So, and it was just a pro performance. He was just coming through.
It's interesting. This song is such a perfectly written song. I've heard this song sung in every genre. You can turn this song into any. It can be a country, R&B, soul, easy listening.
Yep.
The song could be done in any genre. It's
Absolutely.
It's just a perfectly written song.
Absolutely.
All right. So, beginning round 2, Lucia was the first. And I got very excited when Carson said that she was like in one of the outtakes that she was going to do a Billie Eilish. I said yes, and she did Wildflower.
Like a fever, like I'm burning alive, life beside.
I said, okay. Here we go. I said, Lucia's in the driver's seat with this offering. I said, the look, the sound, the rendition, Billie, hand it over. I said, baby girl, I'm sorry. I said, it sounds like Lucia turned this into almost like Billie and Phineas wrote another Bond song.
Yeah.
Like in the whole precinct, I said the whole Olivia of it all. Like
yes,
she was channeling Olivia.
Yes, she was
previous contestant who was let go last round. Just her whole look, the smoky eyes, everything. There were times where you thought Lucia. I was like, is Lucia's eyes open? Yeah, they were open.
They were.
Her makeup made it look like just she had those smoky eyes, but the way she just was singing this song down, to me, it also is another indicator on how brilliant of a songwriter that Billie and Phineas are.
Yes.
Like, it's just, to hear this song done in Lucia's voice gives me a new appreciation for this song.
Yes.
And it was just, I just was like, Lucia, there it is. There it is. That's what I was waiting for. It was great. Stephanie?
So sadly, I don't know this song. So I was coming to it with a
Yeah, I do.
disadvantage.
It's a not as known Eilish song. Yeah.
Okay, Eilish. So I was coming at it with a bit of a disadvantage because I didn't know it. I love how she intermingled the English and Spanish, like how it just wasn't like this is the English part, this is
Right.
the Spanish part. I love how they were interwoven. She's just undeniable. She was gorgeous. The set was gorgeous. This is one of the situations where just kind of like you were saying with the Olivia feel of it all. She just took me to another time. Like watching her made me feel like I was living and watching a different time. She is just art, and you can't critique art. You can't critique real art, and that's what she is. You just appreciate it. The one thing that I will say that will come up a little bit later as well, and with a few of our artists, this was not up tempo. This was not up tempo. This was barely mid tempo. The fact that she's wearing a prom dress, like a gown, that should tell you all you need to know in the fact that this was not an up tempo, because there was no way mommy was moving in that dress. Which, they at this point, I am fully believing they are not calling the shots as far as what songs that they are singing. So, Lucia, I don't fault Lucia for that fact, but I just can't stand when they say that they're going to give these artists an up-tempo and a ballad, and the up-tempo is not up-tempo. RENZO was up-tempo. You know what I'm saying? This was not up-tempo. So that's my only critique, but that has nothing to do with Lucia.
You're right. Okay. Next we have Adam David again. Quick turnaround for him.
Yes, it was.
I got excited when I heard what he was singing. Hard Fought Hallelujah. Brandon Lake of Jelly Roll.
Yes.
I said, okay, well, Adam David is about to give us his testimony.
Yes.
And here it is. And I said, get ready, y'all. I said, you're going to be sitting back in this chair. I said, there's so much soul, so much pain, so much struggle in that voice. And then I said, come on, choir.
Sing choir.
That choir was hollering.
Hollering to God, not to the gods, to God.
I said, let it rip, Adam David.
Yes.
I said, I love... One thing that I really noticed in this song that I loved that he did that was so impactful in his delivery was the back phrasing. Did you hear like the choir kept the tempo, but he was back phrasing like, with the choir. And I just was like, it was so effective.
Yes, it was.
It was so amazing. I said, I love that note that Blue Blade gave him, and then he took it. Because I call it the Blue Blade holler at the end, when Blue Blade told you to holler at the end.
Yes.
And the way you hollered at the end.
Yes.
I said, Adam David is definitely one of the front runners of this show.
1,000%.
He is definitely one of the strongest voices, if not the strongest voice left on the show. Incredible.
Yeah. I said, not the veil was torn when the curtain came down with the choir. I said, not the veil is torn. Hallelujah. One thing that I wanted to note was that I thought was really important and really impactful, particularly for the chorus. I felt like his articulation of the lyrics was very intentionally clear. Like he was trying to be really intentionally clear with saying those words. Now, this song, I just happened upon this song. I didn't know this song until this weekend. And when I heard it, I was like, this sounds like some Brandon. And then I heard the Jelly Roll was on. I was like, it's okay. I love this song. And I think that, like you said, he sang his testimony. What you've been through, Adam David, has not been in vain. And it was for a moment such as this, so that we could all benefit, enjoy, and be inspired by the oil flowing out of your throat, sir. Hey. I loved the hits in this song, like where it would just stop and like you said, by the end when he hit that note, I was like, well, there you have it. He's given all he can give. He gave what he gave in an authentic way, and He left it all on the stage, and it was fantastic.
Absolutely. You couldn't have asked for a stronger closing from him.
That's right.
Okay. Next, Jadyn
Yes.
is singing an old 80s hit, Come On Eileen.
Come on, Eileen.
Come on, Eileen, no, I swear, at this moment, you mean everything.
I said, I'm not feeling it tonight. I said, the vocal is not strong. The pitch is off. I said, maybe I need to hear this in my good ears. I said, this was just average. I did not get, it was too, voice, you sometimes just go overboard on the production value. The production value, Stephanie, was so distracting. And
It was a
I
lot.
need to go back and listen to this and and just put it in my ears and not watch my screen.
You do.
She was getting lost.
Yes, she was.
I was like,
Where's she at?
wait, balloons? Streamers? What? It's not the finale. What? She's not crowned the victor?
Right.
What's going? This is, oh gosh. Sometimes y'all go so overboard. And poor Jadyn. Like, I was like, she don't ask for this.
Right.
This is crazy.
Right.
I was like, what's really going on here? I was like, this was like the sanitarium moment for me with that. Remember the last year's episode where they looked like they were in the loony bin?
Yes. The
And I
hot.
was like,
Yes.
I just didn't get it. I didn't get the production value. I didn't think the song did anything for her voice. That song doesn't do anything for anyone's voice. It is such a, it's almost, I don't know. It's such a fun song, and I get it. You're trying to bring the youthful exuberance out in her, but Jadyn is more of an old, like, 80s throwback, not a corny, that type of song, 80s cornback.
Right.
Throwback. Yeah. I don't know, Steph. It's just, I wasn't feeling this tonight at all. Please help me out.
This song sucks. This song sucks.
It's like a party trick.
It's a song that is not, I don't know. I do know who the artist is. I can't say it. DEXYS. Dexys Midnight Runners. That's the artist. I've never heard that in my life. I've heard the song, but when I hear the song, I think of dudes at a bar who just happen to record the song. That's what it sounds like. Come on, or in a pub or wherever they are. Come on, Eileen.
Like their arms are around each other. They're swaying.
1000%.
Drunk as a skunk, right?
1000%. So yes. Right. So to give her this song just felt so disrespectful and such a daggone waste of her voice. We could have got some, it was right there, the voice. It was right there. Girls just want to have fun. Like, whatever. Like, give her something to sing. Because what she was attempting to do was...
Walk like an Egyptian.
Walk like an Egyptian.
They could have given her dun, 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 the Go-Go's.
Oh, they could have gave her some Go-Go's.
You could have given her any one of those girl groups from the 80s.
Yes.
And she'd have slayed. She's a slave.
Exactly. And this was just a waste. And I think I think that she did the best. Here's what I can give her an applause for. You tried to sing an unsingable song, so well done. She performed it. She gave it some life. She gave it some fun. What you gonna do? You're out there. You got to sing this song. I could tell from B-roll she wasn't feeling it and looking at Michael like, help me. Who picked this song for me? Did you? And to your point, balloons and streamers, don't do that to her because it brings an air of I already won. She don't want that. That's not her fault. I I don't like the narrative pushing. Like it's like they push, pull, push, pull. I'll do balloons and streamers, but I'll give you a bad song. Like it's just, oh, it's we're frustrated with the odd choices
Especially
of
with 2
song.
more performances to go.
Exactly. It's like y'all got to clean up all them balloons. This was not even wise.
2 performances left. Production value weren't.
They were not.
It's like y'all put all your money into that one.
Exactly.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either. It was disappointing. I was so looking forward to her up tempo because I just knew she was going to slay and have fun. And they did not give her that opportunity.
They Got the Beat is the song I was thinking of, right?
They got the beat. They got
the beat. I mean, they got her on that.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, it would have been great. Get a couple of them BGVs up there with her. This is dumb.
Y'all, I'm mad at The Voice for this one.
Yeah.
I'm really mad. I just like y'all not presenting Jadyn in the best light.
No.
Anyway, all right. So next is RENZO. Help me out with the song.
Okay, so this song was "Lover, You Should Have Come Over" by Jeff Buckley.
So I wait for you, and I'll burn. Will I ever see your sweet return?
At first, because you know what? RENZO so caught me off guard with this one, especially with the opening. I was like, is he starting off a little rough? No, he's not starting off rough. He's starting off completely different than he's ever sung
Right.
on this show.
Right.
And again, RENZO's showing his versatility.
Mm-hmm.
The song, and maybe this was just a song structure. I asked my wife, I was like, well, what do you think so far? As we were watching it, she's like, the song's a little slow. And I thought it really wasn't going anywhere. I was like, come on, this is RENZO. I said, I know the song's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not familiar with the song, but I love the natural build in this young man's voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there. It's going to happen. He's a volcano, always about to explode.
Yeah.
I said, it's getting better. And I wrote, and better, ... I said, love the soul. He really brought out that soul in his voice on this one.
Yes, he did.
I love that falsetto at the end.
Yes.
He didn't give us full voice holler. He didn't give us the Adam Lambert scream.
Right.
He gave us falsetto at the end. And I love the vocal sustain in his voice. Like, he can literally hold a note and sustain it, and it's strong. I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote, what a voice. What a voice. RENZO can sing anything.
Yeah.
And he can sing it down.
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yeah, I didn't know this song either. And it was so disappointing for me tonight to either not know so many of the songs or not think that the song choice was a good one for the artist. Having said that, straight vocal. Like, it was just straight vocal. And like you said, the great thing about it is that it showed his vocal diversity. It showed how he can really sing any song. You know, he can sing rock and then sing a song like this. I don't know who Jeff Buckley is. I don't know what his genre is, but it was just so cool to see him tackle a song like this. There was definitely soul in it. By the end of the performance, I was saying hallelujah, because that's how much he was singing the song down. But yeah, it was just so vastly different than the first selection. And it was so different than what I thought he might sing for a slower song. I thought he was going to give us something. I don't know what I thought he was going to give us, but I loved what his vocal did on this song. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm looking up Jeff Buckley.
Okay.
He was a kind of an indie rocker singer.
Okay.
And he passed away.
Oh.
His version of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah is the standard version.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, his version of that's his claim to fame.
Okay.
His version, from 2014, his version was inducted into the Library of Congress National Recording Registry.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
there's some
So
context.
that's him.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Renzo just soared into what Renzo does. But then I just loved what he did at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just add vocally, like for this to have been his last song and his last showing on the show before votes, I think vocally it was a really strong vocal to end
Yeah.
on.
Oh, absolutely.
Straight up vocal.
And the versatility in the vocal was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Final act of the evening. I was like, who's like, oh, Jaelen
Jaelen.
is gonna sing. And me, like Miss Ballerini, when they said what song he was gonna sing, I said,
oh.
Right in the middle of my soul. Oh, why you gotta be so cold?
okay. I said, it's one of those like I'm sitting at the producer's table. Well, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Baby. First note, boy, you better. I said you better. Jaelen, just caress it. Just take your time with it. I said, you trying to win this, aren't you, young man? I said, listen to the soul in this man's voice. And I said, winning combination.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna bring soulful country?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna win this competition.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the holler in Jalen's voice.
Mm-hmm.
But then I loved how, because here's the thing, Stapleton brings really the soul.
Yeah.
When he
Yes.
sings his song. And,
yes.
and there was a insane rendition of this song by the Warden Treaty. Like insane rendition.
Yes.
Where they actually serenade to Stapleton, and Stapleton's like the best compliment you could give as a country artist, from one country artist to another.
Yes.
I said, but the thing about Jaelen is he stayed country.
He did.
But it was country soul. I said, he just catapulted himself to the head of the class. I said, but then I was like, okay, Jaelen, don't let it get away from you, because there was one holler where it was a little off, but then he pulled it back, and it's almost as if it was like, okay, I know my limitations. I'm 22. I know my limitations.
Yeah.
But then he fell right back in that safe growl again.
Yeah.
I said, there you go. I said, you want to talk about being strategic on a TV show?
Mm-hmm.
I said, the fact that he saved this one for the end,
mm-hmm.
even though he wasn't even sure if he was going to make the end. Remember, he was called back.
Yes, he was.
I said, smart. I said, because no one thought he'd be able to do. What's the name? What's the name? Is it So Cold? What's the name of the song?
Cold.
By Chris Stapleton. No one thought he'd be able to sing this song. 22 years old singing Cold. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to beat that one. For me, it's gonna be hard to beat that one, because it was so unexpected, and it was so bananas.
It's cold.
And it was the closer, right?
Yes.
Stephanie.
Screamology in the best way. I've come up with a new term. That man was hollering, left his heart on the stage. I was like, cold. Oh my God. You gonna be able to this is a big one. I say, this is one of the big.
Like, are you sure?
This is one of the big stuffs. I know. This is one of the big stuffs. And he left his heart, his soul, his throat, his esophagus. Everything was left on the stage. I have like two vastly different thoughts about this as the show closer. In one way, I felt like it was brilliant. A wide range of people, including you and I, know this song. So it's a known song. and he sang it down. The other side of it is, even though it's an emotional song, it's there's energy, but there's an interesting energy as a show closer. So I didn't know if I love this as a show closer, but it is impactful as a show closing song. I thought that this was a great performance for him to make us completely forget what happened in the first song.
Oh, yeah. Gone.
One thing that I wish he would have done, and I think that even though he was still singing it, even in him still singing it country, more country leaning than soulful leaning, I felt like he could have done a little bit more with the colds. I felt like every cold was the same. And I was hearing a lot of the same note, the same holler in the same way a lot. It's not a criticism. It's just, this is me wanting to hear something different when you're saying the same thing over and over again. Way to come back. Way to come back. And possibly snatch this competition right at the last minute. Yeah.
Jaelen, we got our eyes on you. Pitchy Podcast got our eyes on you, sir. All right. Wow. This show was a lot shorter than I thought it would be. I thought we'd be going on and on, but we got down to business.
Yes,
Stephanie.
we did. Yes, we did.
All right. So we'll see you all again. We're going to do a double show this week for the grand finale. And that show shouldn't be too long. We'll discuss some of the performances. I just want a good grand finale show because last year was so underwhelming. I just want some really good singing tomorrow.
I thought that last season was not bad. I think it was the season before.
Was it?
Yeah, fall was not bad. The previous spring was kind of underwhelming, but fall wasn't bad.
It's all running together for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, you all. Have a good evening. It's been a very, very long day. Stephanie, tell everyone what they need to hear.
All right. So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And while you are there, especially if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, to rate and review so that more friends can find us, and jump on over to YouTube and search for the Pitchy Podcast. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so you know when we drop a new video. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Pitchy Podcast, and Blue Sky at the Pitchy Podcast at bsky.social for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more. Y'all don't want to miss Patreon. We give our winner predictions. We dive a little bit more deeply into the show, and you will find out which artists from season 27 we have a double connection to. Don't miss that on Patreon, only $5 per month, and you'll get all of that content and so much more. $5. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.